All right, what qualities make a good leader? We said communication. We said difference between like a leader and a manager. So taking time to get to know people and get to know their stories rather than just telling people what to do from like a manager role.
Leaders got to be aware of their strong points and also their weaknesses.
Yeah.
I think it's really about how you act, what you exercise and influence and power, your behavior and how you act with individuals as well as the group of your organization.
Yeah. Yeah, it says right here in the textbook in chapter 1, the main theme of being a leader focuses on leadership traits and attributes, and is one of the oldest ways of what does it say? Just being a leader. So there's an emphasis on identifying the characteristics that define born leaders versus people who develop leadership qualities. So really, it's your personality that makes you a leader, and it's about how you act.
And it's really getting your collaborators and your followers and the people that work underneath you to follow, the leader's vision and to start acting like that leader and follow, their mindset and what it is their actions are and what it is they're doing.
Yeah, totally.
I like what it talked about too in chapter 1 around the, utilizing emotions. So the 5 emotional competencies: so perception, attending to the emotions of others, emotional facilitation of thinking, understanding and analyzing emotional information, and regulation of emotions. I think sometimes leaders will get, they'll be in a position of power, and if they don't have any emotional intelligence, that can go wrong really quickly.
Yeah. I also think it's about like how, like the text says in chapter 1, it's about how you work with others too. So you have to be like a people person. You have to work well with your team.
Yeah, the leader follower aspect is big too.
Do you guys happen to work underneath any good leaders at your organization? You guys have any examples?
I did. I used to work for Starbucks, and the manager there, she was a manager and a leader, but she wasn't like afraid to do the dirty work. She didn't seem or put herself above anyone else. Didn't act like she was better than anyone else. So I think that's really awesome, is when you're a leader, to know where you came from and to still be able to do that dirty work with the rest of your team. Yeah, I totally agree. I work at Starbucks as well, and my manager is just like that. Like, she'll never ask you to do something that she wouldn't do herself. Like, right, Elizabeth, go clean the bathroom. Like, I did it last week. I'm asking you to do it today. So that's really helpful when they're like on your level and not asking to do something that they wouldn't do. So I think that's a good trait. And then she also like takes time to get to know us. Like, she knows like a little bit of my story. She can ask me about like things I'm interested in. Like, she cares about me as a person and as an employee. So I think that's a trait that makes a good leader as well.
That was one of the qualities in our text about stories and being on a personal level, and it creates a positive culture with everyone that works there.
Yeah, I think it's also about like developing your team too, like seeing potential in people and working with them to get them to move up, that kind of thing. Yeah. So helping them grow as well. Mm-hmm. Do you want to move on to the second question, or does anyone else have anything to add on the traits of a good leader? Yeah. We can move on. What qualities make a poor leader? Next question.
So I think there was a lot more in the text about what can make a poor leader.
Yeah, I got that too. There's narcissism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that Machiavellian and authoritative, both of those were good examples or good words to use for a bad, what can be a bad leader, but especially the authoritarian leader where it's, my way or the highway, and you may get results at the beginning, but it doesn't last very long because eventually people don't want to follow you when they have absolutely no voice and no opinion.
They're out to seek, personal gain, and they're just out there for the money. They don't care about the employees and the people after them. They're very selfish and just going after their own resources.
Right.
What favors them?
Yep. How fast can they move up? It doesn't matter who they step on the way.
I'm working as an intern right now for another company, and the person, I'm like someone's personal assistant, and I think he has a lot of like great qualities as a leader. Then he also has a few of these like bad leadership qualities. So, like for example, like this selfishness, he'll like ask me to do a bunch of research, and then he will submit it under his name and like without giving me any credit. Or like if I do anything right, then it's fine, but if I do something wrong, then he'll put all the blame on me. Yeah. So that's just like the most frustrating part, like just kind of feeling like powerless. Like I'm just an intern, can't really say anything, but because of his position, he can just put the blame on me and like make himself still look good when it's still like his responsibility to help me out. So I think that's just like one example of, I don't know, a way that a leader could be better.
They keep on doing poor decisions, making cognitive errors, choices. Like I said, they're not approachable.
Yeah.
They don't really care about who you are as long as what they get.
I actually left Starbucks because we got a new manager, and he was like very poor example of a leader, and it was really hard to work with someone like that. And it was kind of like your situation, Elizabeth. Whenever I did something right, he would report it to like our district manager as basically like he like trained me or whatever. Right. Like no like what's the word? He didn't praise me, he praised himself, and then when there was an error, he'd be like, oh, well, Jordan did the order wrong, or Jordan over-ordered, and it's like, I didn't do the order, first of all. So just like placing blame where it's not supposed to be put, and then taking the credit where it wasn't due to you.
As a leader, everything's supposed to be as a team, that's your family that you're working with, and, if something's wrong, everyone's at fault, not just one person.
Right. And the experiences I've had in leadership is like if I take leadership on like, let's say this like a school group project, then if like it fails, it kind of like falls on the leader, not on the whole, I don't know, like the whole team fails, but like at a previous job where when I was in the leadership position, like if anything went wrong, it was my fault. It wasn't the team's fault, because like it was the person's leadership either takes the win or takes the loss. So I think that's one thing. I mean, it's all like working as a team and working together, but I think ultimately it's the leader who needs to take the blame or like take responsibility. Yeah.
So I think so. It's really interesting. So I'm a district manager for Starbucks now, but I started at, and so that really makes me think too, though, of is that, so in your example, is that district manager facilitating some of that, right? So if one of my stores is out of something and I coach the store manager it too harshly, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're out of lemonade, to where they're now fearful, then the next time they're out of something, of course they're going to pass the buck because they're afraid of me now, right? And so I wonder sometimes if that's where some managers get that, where they are taking all the blame because it may not even be part of their personality, but they're afraid of the boss above them. And so they try to take more recognition and try to pass the buck so that they look better. I mean, it could be a reason, there could be a million. But I wonder, what played into that store manager being like that? Was it just their natural leadership, or was there something else that worked there with a different their own leader above them?
Yeah. Those are basically the 2 questions we have to answer.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So
We blew that
we
getting
got
there, but at least we didn't have a ton.
we're at 10.5 minutes, so almost there.
Okay.
Um,
So it's a, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you guys have any like real life examples where you know of bad leadership of people that you've never worked with, like that you see in the news or online?
I worked for a manager. He was actually the head of the department, and his personality was, it was either his way or nobody else's. He's real rigid, unyielding, and got to the point where actually all the workers were having problems with that, but then also started doing it to customers, and he actually did it to our largest customer account, and they proceeded back to our company about that, and we had to actually go through special training as a department, and actually I think even the whole company, about how not to think outside of the box, not just inside the box, and person actually ended up leaving his position, moving to a different position because of that.
Yeah, I think that's really important to think about as a leader, that if you're working with a team and kind of like in a retail setting, if you are a bad leader and don't have like good leadership qualities about you, it's not only going to affect your team, but it's going to affect like your consumers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a trickle down effect.
Right. Yeah, like the leader really sets the tone for the whole team.
Yeah.
And the expectation, and the culture, and all that.
Absolutely. Like the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, I would consider him a leader of his company. And, he's made a lot of bad decisions and displays of, his consumer and who he markets to, and not donating the extra clothes, instead they throw them away. So, in regards to the consumer, he's not being a good leader to them. So people aren't buying his products anymore.
Yeah, the one story in the book was that I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It was like Patagoda or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that sounds
Patagonia?
like yeah. That leader sounds amazing to work for. I had no idea the kind of work they did, and that if you ever want to get rid of the clothes, you can just take them there and they will recycle them. And just sounds like an amazing company to work for.
What company is that one?
Patagonia.
Oh, I got their backpack right here.
Oh, really?
They offer free yoga on Wednesday nights, just in case anyone was interested.
I have to look into that.
So
I
I
did
read.
look
What's
the
that?
little case stories in this book. It's nice because it makes you it's not just like reading a textbook. You can read the little case studies, and kind of real-time examples in the text. I like that.
What else? So we got 1 more minute. Any other examples? Maybe something from TV.
Well, we always got Michael Scott as an example of quality leadership, right? That's what we want to aspire to be.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I would love to work for Michael Scott.
I know. That's real. I would really
Yeah.
like to work for him.
Well, he creates a fun environment for his employees. That's a great leadership quality.
It's true. He gets to know his employees. He knows exactly what makes the wife mad.
Yeah, he cares about them.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're good. 15 minutes.
Sweet.
See you guys next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.